Welcome to the Grappling Grappling Rewind Podcast.
Welcome to this week on the Grappling Rewind Podcast. On this week's show, we are going to recap Who's Number 130, headlined by a men's openweight tournament. We are also going to preview Polaris 34, headlined by Fionn Davies versus Margot Cicerelli, also featuring Helena Corvar versus Amanda Suleme.
Yeah,
and
a squads
and a squads event as well. So as always on the show, I am your host, Maine, my co-host
Miranda.
How you doing, Miranda?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm confused. Just generally confused by this card. Again, it was a fun card. I'm excited to recap it. The majority of our discussion internally, we're right into the show today. The majority of our discussion internally has been, do any of us know the criteria for how these matches are judged? And Zach, I think this weekend when we all played D&D together, and in the chat as well, made a good comment that was having a submission only no points match is essentially just a points match where no one knows what the criteria is for the points.
Yeah.
And that absolutely was sort of my takeaway after this event, because
they do explain the criteria. Sort of,
but do they follow it?
I feel like it's not, it's one of those situations where they explain something and then if you actually watch it, it doesn't really follow the way they...
Yeah.
Fury's the same way, but...
Yes. There's a bunch of them that are kind of like that, where we just have... We're in this weird landscape right now of these big pro events that have somewhat inconsistent and super unclear criteria for the viewer of what it takes to win matches. And I think this card, more than most of the cards we've had in the last, honestly, couple of years, just kind of emanates of, I don't really know what the criteria is for a lot of these guys getting these wins. Again, I don't, a lot of them are close. I don't see a problem with either way, but it is just confusing for what the criteria is. So that's all I got really on my end.
Yeah.
As far as other news of the business, I finally booked my flight. So my wife and I are going out to ADCC trials in Florida.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see if the federal government ever opens again.
And then you're like, hey, am I going to be able to go or am I not?
I mean,
essentially.
If not, I might have to ref for money while I wait in my furlough of happiness.
So you're not going as of right now.
Probably not right now.
So we're trying to, in the process, so behind the curtain here, we booked out the next couple of weeks shows for how we're going to do them. My wife and I happen to be in Florida every single day. We would record the podcast, and I don't think anyone else from the team is coming down, so we might do a topic show that week and then cover trials the following week. We're not quite sure how we're going to play it yet, but there might be a weird week of me, who produces the podcast primarily, being in doing trials or at trials, not doing trials. And
I don't know how to do all this stuff without him. I would basically show up to his house, put my phone up somewhere, and just talk to the phone.
Hey man, here's the audio.
Yeah.
So
and it would
we'll figure it out. We haven't missed a week yet so far in 8 years, so I will figure it out. But just peek behind the curtain for the fun that we're having with the scheduling with the team. Miranda, where do you want to start? I think I have other news. There's nothing else. There's other stuff that's happening and kind of going on, but I think let's go through this show.
It's interesting to have this event in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we didn't end up going because it's been a busy week and there's some stuff going on. But
I caught the sickness.
Yeah,
and I was down for a few days.
And I just didn't want to. I didn't want to make. My wife just went up for a tattoo a while ago, and we didn't want to drive up and back in the same day.
Yeah,
on short notice.
It's a rough. It was
going to be a long trip, so.
And I'm happy we didn't because it ended way late.
Yeah,
and I would have been like, "Screw you, people!" I caught the
replay.
Yeah,
and
I would have got a hotel room because I would.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
I wouldn't have driven back.
Let's run through the tournament. I think it's as good a place as any to start here. Which there I can't see.
So we had where's our gentleman that came in late?
Ryan Aiken.
No, our pigtail. Michael.
I'm trying to load brackets here, and the Flow website is absolutely atrocious.
There we go.
Here we go.
Justin Michael of 10th Planet.
Yes.
In the Ohio, Pennsylvania area. I forget which one that is. It starts with an M. Marionville, maybe?
I'm not going to get there.
I think it's Marysville.
We can stall for time. I'm not going to get there.
So Justin, he won the. They had like a tournament ahead of time that he won to get in. So it was kind of like a pigtail, but not really.
Yeah, it was a tournament. He was a qualifier winner.
Yeah.
And we talked about when Corey and I previewed the show last week, like how much I like having these guys in because it gives them an opportunity to get in the mix with all these huge names. He unfortunately drew Declan Moody in the first round, which, again, spoiler here, Declan wins the whole thing. That is always really rough for the guys.
Did you see the video of him taking the 2 white monsters and spraying them all over himself?
I did not see that
He
video.
did that after he won.
The qualifier?
No, Declan did.
That's really
Declan
did that?
He's the white monster. Didn't you hear this whole thing?
I did hear.
He has a podcast called The White Monster, and he likes white monster energy drinks.
We all like white monster.
And
that's Zach's favorite.
He popped 2 of them and then poured them all over himself after he won.
That is a very Australian response to have there. So
yeah,
Declan Moody looked real good against Justin Michaels.
Yeah, poor Justin Michael.
It's just a rough.
It was a rough first match, and Declan, when he wants to move, is a very quick dude.
That's when Josh and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago, and I still had this a little bit of this holdover from back in the day. Heavyweight is not the same as it used to be. Like you don't get the lumbering, 250 guys that are lumbering anymore.
I mean, you do, but not in these divisions.
Not in the guys that can.
Not in the pro divisions.
Yeah, there
generally
just doesn't exist. Like Declan is a big. I think it was 222 or something like that in this tournament. I think the biggest guy in this tournament.
No, Declan was the biggest guy because Dante Leon was the smallest guy, and it was funny because it was the biggest guy versus the smallest guy in the finals.
Yeah, your 2 highest ranked guys. It made sense how it was bracketed that they would end up there. That's how it should have ended up. But
I want to say there was like 40 pounds between him, and Dante was like
177 or 87, something around
like
there.
That. And Declan was like 240.
I thought he was 222. I thought he was 222 in this.
No, I don't think he was, but
regardless. He beats Justin Michael with a darts choke. Very, very quick into the match. Justin goes down, and then you see Declan on top, works through.
It was hell of a darts choke. Did you see that? Like, they had a really good view on Justin Michael's face as it was happening to him, and then you just saw like the pressure on the neck and the shoulders, and
everything get turned. You're like, Declan's going for the finish here, and he is aggressive about it.
Yeah, and then afterwards you could just tell. Because when you're still shaking it off after it's happened a couple times. Yeah.
Again, that happened. Declan looked very good in this one. I don't have a whole lot on this. Your number 1 seed beat your trials entrant, which is sort of normally, unless you have a big upset, how that sort of goes. Declan looks good, gets the sub. That's what you would expect. One of very few subs that we saw in this entire division. One of 2, actually. Yeah. And both of them come in the first round. Let's talk about the other one, Dante Leon versus Pat Shingoli. This is, Corey and I talked about it last week when we previewed this. We haven't seen Pat in a little bit. I think last company was like 17. He's now 19. Tatted up, 40 to 60 pounds smaller. Yeah. And decided to wrestle Dante Leon.
Good on him.
Which I kind of hated initially, and then I went, he's not going to do plus 99 at trials anymore. Like from a career management perspective, we got some messages last week from him. Shout out to people that did. I appreciate that. I forgot to mention that he's been training at Unity. He's been like cross-training at Unity. And I knew it was a Miranda fact because like if you were here, you would have remembered that.
Yeah, because I just remember him. There's a couple that like Nick had went against a guy that he was friends with that went to Unity. And the 2 of them like trained together or something like that. And then they were looking for training partners around that size up there. Okay. That's the only reason I know that fact, and it was like a random fact. But Moody was 222 and Leon was 178, which is
I was close.
Which is 44 pounds between them.
Okay, I can't do math, but that's
I couldn't do math either. There.
So, but to watch Pat after kind of a couple years, first time we're seeing him not at heavyweight. It was 207 is what he weighed in at. Most likely going to do 88 kilos at trials. And I went, yeah, man, if you can wrestle Dante Leon, you probably at 88 kilos want to wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, you can pull it 88 kilos, but I think at heavyweight, that was a much more effective strategy, especially with the skill set that Pat used to have.
Yeah.
He sort of fenced with Dante alone. Like, definitely Dante was getting the better of the wrestling exchange.
Yeah.
Eventually, Pat pulls, and, like, Dante takes him down.
It might have also been, it was almost like Dante was kind of feeling him out. Like, what are you going to do?
Because Pat's super dangerous if he gets into you on something. He's a flash sub guy.
Because it was almost like you saw Dante go, oh, okay, I got to go now. And he just, like, turned it on, went in, took his back, choked him, and was
the rear naked choke sequence, or the back sequence, was actually really nifty. It was like a rolling back tape that Chigoli tried to roll, like almost Granby, not quite Granby, out of, and Dante kept him on, kept on the back.
Did you see the tooth, like the mouth mark on Dante?
No, I didn't.
He went straight across, like across.
Because he was in the rear naked choke for a while. They hand fought. Pat fought for a while from the back mount.
He went like straight across the jaw, like in between the teeth, hard enough that after the match, if you looked at Dante's arm, you saw his teeth imprints on the arm.
Again, another good camera moment you saw when they finished. Like, Pat's mouth is like, it's not open, but it's very clearly like Dante is on like the teeth line, and you see when Pat like taps aggressively, which I like to see, guys. Like, hey, when you're done, you're done. And then you see him like be very happy to get out of the choke, and immediately like, oh yeah, his like mouth was almost over his jaw there, and Dante's just squeezed down on it. I didn't quite learn as much from Pat's game as I wanted to. This is sort of the result that I would have expected, given, again, Pat's still so young. We haven't seen him a little bit.
But it was more wrestling than I think I've seen with Pat recently.
Yeah, and it was a way different game, but like once it went to the mat, Dante was very quick on the back. There wasn't a whole lot of, we didn't really see any Pat's guard. We didn't really see, we didn't see a whole lot of other pieces of his game other than, this new wrestling that he's decided to bring in. And again, you're probably not going to bring in your wrestling if it's something that you've not been working on pretty significantly. And so I would be guessing that in a couple of weeks when you go down to trials, we're going to see Pat at 88 kilos looking to wrestle guys and then drop into legs. Or there's going to be different pieces to his game that folks in his division have not seen before. And I'm just really still curious. I would have loved to see a little more, but I'm curious. It is kind of the result that we expected, sort of, with your seeding, which just makes sense that Chigolo is on the other side of that seeding bracket. So Dante and Declan ended up on the 1 and 2 seeds. It makes sense, but it was nice to see the changes in his game. Next match, we had Felipe Costa versus Achilles Rocha. This one goes to decision. We had a bunch of matches in this tournament that were kind of, that's a decision.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of exchanging of position. It was somebody is trying to pass someone's guard. They cannot pass that person's guard. No one is really trying a submission. If they get close to a submission, they're going out, but they're retaining the same guard that they started in, and they continue in that guard, and that is the entire match. Which gets complicated with, do you give it to the person that's then passing the guard, or do you give it to the person that's then attempting the submissions from the bottom?
Do you give it to the leg locker that's not having success and forcing the reset, or do you give it to the passer that's not having success and forcing the reset? Yeah. And you get into this weird
you might say that, maybe one thing, like maybe the passing causes the action of the leg lock.
But sometimes the leg locker is the guy doing it.
And sometimes the pass is only because they're getting out of their guard to be able to go into something.
And this is why I really like the ADCC rule of the person that's initiating the exchange is the one that gets credit for the exchange. Yeah. And it's like a classic ADCC rule when you go back and watch like Cyborg and Nick Rodriguez. It's like, well, Cyborg has the better success from the sequences, or some of the better success in some of the sequences, but Nick Rodriguez is the one creating all of those sequences, and you're like, oh, that's why he wins that match, is because like he is the one that is doing the thing to make the action happen. We don't really know if who's number one has that. They've used that criteria in the past, but now I don't know. And also a lot of these matches, again, Felipe and Achilles, it's close. I think, again, he is more active. I think, generally speaking, when I'm looking at who won these matches for this weekend, it's simply the guy who did more stuff.
Yeah.
It's not even who had the best success and stuff. It's just the guy who did more things in the match is the guy who's winning. Because Flo is looking for subs. They're looking for progression. That's sort of the criteria they've used in the past. Felipe Costa did more in this match. Achilles looked fine in the match. His feet weren't all taped up, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
I liked to see that.
First time I ever saw his feet not taped up.
It's been
Probably
a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years. His feet have been taped up for a long time. Felipe Costa wins it via decision. I think it was a fine decision. He did more. He beats Achilles Rocha. Achilles, I was happy with how he put up against Felipe Costa. He pulled out a good armbar. He had much better defense than we've seen from him, but again, just not quite a level of activity that they needed to see, which is, I think, the big takeaway from this match. Let's talk about another weird match. Ryan Aiken versus Michael Sains. Ryan Aiken takes a decision over Michael Sains. Ryan Aiken spends, 7 minutes?
Yeah.
6.5 minutes?
It might have been that he was just trying to wear him down by just chilling in his guard. But he winds up taking quite at least 2 penalties for just hanging and not passing the guard.
He sort of sits in a modified leg split, knee cut, head quarters, top position, pulling the head in, pressuring the low side leg with his knee down, pressuring through the guard. And he literally sits there for 6+ minutes of this match.
And
to the point where they give him penalties.
And I don't know because what it looked like he was doing at one point was he was waiting for him to almost pass, and then when he'd almost pass, he would wait, and then he'd wait for him to try to turtle, and then he'd jump his back on the turtle.
Yeah, and that's the ending sequence. That's what happens at the last 20 seconds of the match. That's the sequence he forces to happen. This was so weird because for a couple of things, it's a winning strategy for Ryan Aiken. He was not trying to pass for a good portion of this match. He was simply camped in the position, and Michael Sains is retaining his guard, and so he's not looking to improve his position. He's like, I'm retaining the guard. When Ryan Aiken goes to pass, I will do the next piece, and I will counter. And then Aiken wasn't passing, and Sains wasn't moving because he's going to, he's far enough through the pass. Aiken's far enough through the pass that if Sains makes a big motion, he just gets past.
Yeah.
And we ended up with Ryan Aiken, who, again, should be the one looking to pass there, getting multiple penalties. The craziest thing about this was I don't think I have ever seen someone get I don't recall. I think it's happened before. I can't remember a match in Who's Number One where someone has actually gotten a stalling penalty. They've called action. I think they've called stalling. We've seen it before. But then they called 2. And Ryan Aiken still wins the match.
Yeah.
And you and I had a discussion before the podcast that went, what do those penalties do?
Yeah, they didn't seem to do anything.
Do you lose the round? Is it a 10 round?
And they were at the end, and I was like, oh, maybe Sains will just win because of the penalties. So then, but it didn't seem like the penalties did anything.
So does Aiken win 3 of the rounds? But they're not scored as rounds. Specifically, Who's Number One doesn't have them as rounds. They give judges favor, but even if you have 2 judges favor, you don't win.
Yeah, but then at the end, they kind of look at the whole match. So it doesn't really matter if there is a judge's favor.
Right. If you're winning at the beginning of the match and then you're losing at the 2 middle section, or sorry, you're winning at the beginning of the match, in the middle of the match, and then at the end you get blown out, you still lose that match.
Yeah.
What do the penalties do? This was just wild to me because I went, Aiken still wins this. I think it's reasonable for Aiken to win this because, again, we don't understand the judging criteria.
Yeah.
But it was weird to see multiple penalties.
But Aiken didn't.
In activity.
And Aiken really didn't get much off. He may have almost took Saints' back.
At the end, and he throws rear naked choke. And they finish the match. I think the match is 30 more seconds.
Yeah.
Aiken probably gets that choke. But it was so weird to have him sit for 6+ minutes at the dying seconds of the match, finish the pass, go to almost crucifix, get the back, throw the rear naked choke in, and then have the match end. And it was like, okay,
well,
could you have done that 4 minutes ago?
He goes after the arm because I was like, oh no, Ryan Aiken.
Oh, he's going to just go rip the Kimura.
He's going to rip his arm off. And he did the smart move, which was he didn't rip the Kimura. He took the back from that position. So it was almost like he was trying to it almost looked like he was doing an IBJJF match and he was trying to get points. Like he was trying to go
late.
this
you
position.
Can't return the points
Yeah,
at the end.
this, rather than like spend my last minute trying to get this one submission, I'm going to go to the back.
Right. Secure
And
my
do
points.
something else. It was almost and I don't know, maybe that was his way of like showing submission attempts at the end. And then that is how like went against but Saints didn't really get anything off.
No,
so
I think it's fine for Ray.
So I
to
understand.
win this.
Yeah, I understand why Ryan won because Saints didn't get anything off. But at the same time, he didn't really pass Saints until the end. So it gets.
Don't watch this match. It is.
Well,
just
if you
confusing.
do, just like fast forward into the last like minute and a half.
Yeah,
And then watch that, and then you're good.
It's just it's another weird who's number one match. So I got nothing else on that one. Let's talk about Dante Leon versus Felipe Costa. Another close match.
Yeah.
I think this is a match that I think Corey and I were talking.
Yeah.
And Corey was like, I thought he gave to Felipe. I watched it and I was like, this is clearly Dante. And it sort of speaks to the ambiguity of what you're looking for. Like I thought when I saw this, like this is clearly a Dante Leon win.
Yeah.
It's close. He doesn't blow him out of the water, but I think Dante, it's again another.
But Dante's in the driver's seat.
Match.
Yeah, and he's in the driver's seat for most of the match.
And he gets the better takedown attempt.
Yeah.
Better takedown. He gets the 3 or so better leg entries that force Costa to pull out and come out. Costa is the aggressor with the passing. And then there's a good moment at the end where there's a leg lock attempt, which is, again, most of these matches have that as a flavor of, at one point there's a good leg lock attempt, and then you're left to judge the match on, like, okay, I think Dante wins the first one. I think Felipe maybe edges the second one because really nothing happens in the middle of the match, like positionally or really submission offense-wise. Felipe has one moment right there. And then at the end, I think Dante finishes the match looking and being more aggressive and looking for the sweep and then trying to take Felipe over. And then he wins the decision.
Yeah.
But again, it would be great to have some sort of criteria on the screen, like points, to let us know who was winning and let the athletes know what they need to do to win, because again, we're on the team, both on the Grappling Rewind.
The other thing is, like, when you're coaching someone, it's nice to know
what the guy that you're coaching needs to do to win.
Yeah, especially like if it's such a close match, you need to be able to say like, "Hey, I need you to do XYZ. I need this activity.
I need to see you pass, because you pass, you're down by 2. Like you can give actionable coaching advice as opposed to watch out for the triangle. Like it.
Yeah, don't get triangle.
Don't get triangle. Yeah, no shit, my coach. Thank you. So again, Dante wins. I think it's a fine decision.
Yeah.
But again, it's without more robust defined criteria that's explained to the viewer, it's hard to say. I think it's fine, but who knows? Next time we have Declan Moody versus Ryan Aiken. This was a fun match. I think this one's easy to pick. This was clearly Declan Moody winning the decision. Ryan Aiken at the beginning of the match, really good leg lock entry.
Yeah.
That Declan has to turn, call out of, escape out of, and then Declan goes, okay, cool. That's what Ryan Aiken wants to do to me. You're just not going to get another shot to do that. I am just going to pass.
He moved at a speed that a big man should not be able to move.
Dude, the way that Declan...
I thought they were both going to wear the shit out of each other and then going into finals not have any gas because both of them looked tired as this match
progressed. Because Declan's sweating at the end. And
both of them are sweating. Ryan was like sweating all over everybody he goes against.
The one thing I like, and we saw it here in Declan takes the back like a much smaller man. And he
was a much smaller man.
But there's a thing that all of the elite heavyweights do, and really all elite grapplers do. And you see it in this match, and it's easy to see because Declan's a big dude. He forces Ryan Aiken into the turtle, and then there is a hip flexibility and a hip motion that happens for high-level guys where they get shoulder to chest, and then they bend their knees out really wide, like a really wide butterfly guard, to punch the hooks in. They don't need to make that big rotary motion with their leg to stomp the hook in. They can get on the back and just flare their knees to shove the hook in. Declan does that. It is one of my big, like, when you watch enough grappling, it is one of the big things that you see, like, every elite guy can do that. When you see guys that potentially aren't elite, the way they take the back, a lot of times they have to, like, stab that hook in or, like, they have to make enough space. Every elite guy punches the hooks in like this. They flare super wide, and the hooks almost come in parallel to the holes between your knee and your elbow.
Yeah.
And there's not that need to, like, finagle and put them in. They just open their hips, punch them in. Declan does that to Ryan Aiken, and I thought immediately of Austin picking him with the first time that he won trials.
Yeah.
Where it was like he was a guy that I didn't know at the time, and Austin and I previewed the Asian and Oceanic trials, and he was like, I think Declan's going to win. And I didn't know many of the other people in the division because, again, we don't see a lot of the guys in the Asian trials. This was 4 years ago at this point. And I went, if you're going to pick this guy, I'm going to think that he's the guy. I haven't really seen much footage on him. And then he wins, and he's won again. Again, he won a couple of weeks ago for the second time. Really, really impressive. This was just Declan Moody moving through Ryan Aiken's guard, passing repeatedly. At one point, Ryan Aiken sits in front of Declan after a restart, and Declan Moody just sort of, like, steps around his guard and just steps right into north-south. And on top, just really one-way traffic from Declan Moody versus Ryan Aiken. Very clean decision, other than that the one leg attempt, but that was early in the match, and then Declan didn't let it happen again.
Is this the one where Ryan Aiken, like, jumps his entire
couple of times
body onto Declan's leg, and I'm like, holy
like
shit.
Twice in this match.
Like, he wrestles up to a single and then jumps the leg, and I'm like...
It's an old school, like, Husama Palahari centric.
Yeah.
And Gary Tony used to do it as well. You basically run up on a single leg, and instead of looking to drive them over and take them down, you basically just drop back underneath them into single leg X, and you have an access to a heel hook. Ryan Aiken likes this a lot. We've seen him use it for years now. Declan, after the first one, sees it coming and, like, intercepts it every single time. It was just really neat to watch Declan go, all right, this is what he wants. And then Aiken still be able to get, like, up onto the leg, but then never able to keep the control.
But he never gets as far up on the leg as he does the first time.
Yeah, because Declan is diligently he just continues to diligently clear the entire time, moves to open space, and then either passes with pressure or passes on the outside and north-south. Like, it was just repeated passing from Declan and then to the back. But again, very clean decision for Declan. Any kind of other pieces on that? Next one. Oh, I'm in the... Yeah. We have
finals, which is Declan Moody defeats Dante Leon via decision.
I thought Declan won. I could absolutely see Dante winning here.
I could see either.
I
see, after watching the whole thing, watching it live, I thought Dante won. Rewatching it, I see why Declan won.
Watching it the first time, I thought Declan won.
Yeah.
Rewatching it, I see why Dante won. Rewatching it again, I went, again, I rewatched the whole card again, and I went, it depends on criteria. Like, it just depends on the things we don't know about how this is scored to figure out, like, do you give it to the guy in the bottom that is putting up entries and attempts, or do you give it to the guy on top that is smashing the guard, looking to pass, pressuring down, and potentially, like, forcing the reset and forcing the inversion? Like, it's... If you think one way or the other, this match is going to be very clear for you to decide. If you can't very clearly decide that's your criteria, it's a coin flip. It's a toss-up match. Declan wins it. I don't have any problem with Declan winning it. If at the end of this Dante were to win, I have no problem with Dante winning. It's a very close match with no real big moments. Both guys, Dante at one point has a good look on a leg that Declan clears. I think the most interesting thing of this match was that entry into a heel hook.
Yeah, Dante gets behind him twice, but doesn't really... He gets physically behind him, but doesn't come up from supine guard. So I don't think that's really behind him because he's still, like, laying on his back. He hasn't wrestled up at all.
Yeah, he's not in a place to be able to take his back or sweep him from there, and Declan pulls out. The one leg lock. The most interesting thing about it is, we talked about it earlier, 44-pound difference. And when Miranda and I rewatched this, the one moment I pinned a piece, and I was like, this is the one thing I will talk about on the show this week. Declan is so tall that Dante, when he goes for the heel hook, has to essentially overreach behind him to get to the leg, And as a result, Declan can heel slip and like put his foot inside further in Dante's armpit to force Dante to have to reach back further to leg lock him, and he can't. And as a result, Dante has to like readjust a little bit, and then Declan can use that to pull out, get to the running man, push and free the knee, and come out. It was just a whole sequence that I think Declan would have done this if he had shorter legs.
Yeah.
But I think it was made easier by the fact that Declan is so much taller than Dante.
Yeah.
That essentially Dante had to overcommit to be able to get behind the heel, and then Declan could escape off of that reaction. Declan takes it. Your heaviest guy in your tournament takes it. Not super surprising. Also, your number one seed just won trials. Declan's been on a tear recently.
But it was also impressive to watch Dante not care over having someone that large.
Dude.
You know.
Dante's a gangster, man. For to be 170 and taking on a guy at 220. Or sorry, 177, taking on a guy at 222. And honestly, bring it to a coin flip.
Yeah.
It really just speaks to how good Dante is, that he can mitigate that. And like, we've talked about it for a while now. His guard is amazing. One of the best guards in the sport, where he can stay active enough, he can get in on legs, he is getting really, really comfortable again with that inverted like underhook guard into that leg. Declan identified it. Even as a tall guy, a lot of times will get stuck there standing. They'll stand in front of guys too much, because Declan on the feet in his wrestling is a little square in the stance.
Yeah.
If you notice, like it's something I'm starting to pick up on Declan, because we're watching more and more on him, especially like in I think it was the Ryan Aiken match and the Dante Leon match. He has a tendency to be, in boxing they call it like plotting. I don't like the term because it seems like a little dismissive, but it's a little like plotting footwork, where he'll kind of walk forward unconcerned with where your foot placement is. He doesn't really cross his feet, but it seems like you can put him into a foot cross if you wanted to like walk him and have a really, really good ring general, I think, could do that. He stands very straight up. He's tall. He gets to lean over guys a lot. And even then, Dante still can't, when he's on the bottom, get Declan to plant his feet hard enough to be able to get as far as he needs to into any leg entry to sweep him over. It's interesting, because usually when you see a guy that has the footwork of Declan versus a guy like Dante, eventually you'll catch their hips square and you'll be able to kick them over and knock them over, like with something like a waiter sweep or
and maybe
standing sweep or a dummy sweep or a double ankle.
Maybe somebody a little bit larger and longer would have been able to do that a little bit more. Ryan Aiken was the last minute replacement for Roberto Jimenez.
You had an interesting take here.
Yeah, because my thing was I wanted to see Declan versus Roberto, because Roberto took Declan out at the Open.
Which one was it? Was it IBJJF or was it ADCC?
It was IBJJF Austin Open in.
We watched this. I think we talked about it on the show.
And then I think they went against each other. Didn't they go against each other right afterwards, and then Declan killed him?
I think it was double. It was division and an open weight, I think is what it was. I wanted to see that as
not
well.
both at that match, but didn't then Declan go against him at like who's number one or something like that? Or like
I
I'm
don't remember.
I'm Googling.
We're stalling for time while you search for the result. Regardless, it was an interesting match. Again, that's my biggest frustration with the card in general was that some of the matches were a bit slower. The penalties don't seem to mean anything, and the criteria for picking a winner isn't super clear on the broadcast, and it seems like it's not super clear to the athletes what it takes to win a matchup. Yeah. So, you find it or not? I can't find it.
They went against her the Austin Winter Open, IBJJF. And they must have been in the same bracket at some point, because I remember mentioning that before. But I might have just mentioned that because it happened and I was like so amazed.
I remember you sending me the match link, because I remember watching the match link that you sent me, because it was one of like those open cameras where it's not a good camera shot, it's just a mat side camera.
But he did the really cool, like he grabbed like a, I don't even know, like a head and arm choke before he took the back. So it was like this nasty ass like crunchy
sub
choke as he took his back, which was fun. But anyway,
So that's the tournament. Any closing thoughts on the 8-man tournament?
no, I just would have wondered what would have happened if we added Jimenez into the madness. And
he's the Openweight champion now.
or
sorry, Declan is.
Or we gave Ryan Aiken more time to prepare.
Yeah. I think Aiken is a live dog in here with a full camp into it. Any thoughts for who you give him at Openweight?
He said he wanted Pedro Mourinho.
That's kind of my thought too. Pedro's 205 pound right now.
Yeah.
And I want to see that, but I don't want to see that.
Didn't what's it called want him at 205?
I forget who now.
He just he's having a baby soon. Mika Golvat. Yeah. Because remember he already has 2 belts and he wants the next belt up.
Man, Pedro's the guy to get it. So either of those guys, again, Pedro for me doesn't have the most exciting style on who's number 1, but I hope that either Dante or Mika is the guy that can kind of.
He's effective.
He can not anything against the skill set that he has. Like he is one of the hardest guys to beat at who's number 1. He's champion for a reason. He plays a perfectly effective range game at who's number 1. He beat Giancarlo. Go back and watch that match. Like not many guys are beating Giancarlo. Beats him soundly to take that title. So there's fun matches to be made for Declan. Let's talk about some of the super fights. Let's start off with which one do we start with?
We have Devontae Johnson defeating.
I didn't highlight that
Gutenberg
one.
Pereira via decision.
I thought Gutenberg won.
I thought he did too.
This was the match that I thought it was going to be, and that we talked about on the show as being. Devontae's almost 250 now.
Devontae hit a lat drop almost off the mats, and I was like, "Ooh, Dante does takedowns." Because I've never seen him do a takedown.
He will snap guys down. He'll do it. He'll do it, but it's rare.
He has to. It seems like he really needs a lot of engagement to do that, and everybody kind of knows they have to get that. Like he wants chest to chest to be able to actually do takedowns, and so everybody realizes that, and everybody's like, I'm just going to
fence you out and put you in a ring."
Yeah, I'm not going to give you that. And then either he's so much better than them that he just
in spite of that,
destroys them, or it becomes this really rangy, almost stalling match of no one really doing anything.
And that was this match.
But I don't know how many times we've seen Gutenberg without a gi.
You mentioned this to me when we were
and
doing
I don't
preview.
remember seeing Gutenberg without a gi.
I swear he was in ADCC. I swear we've seen him do trials.
I swear he was supposed to be, and then he disappeared, and we never saw him actually happen. But maybe he just also failed to deliver, and that's why we didn't talk about him.
I think we've seen him without the gi before, but I don't think it's as common.
Yeah.
I don't really have much.
Because even if you go back and look at all his pictures, he's in the gi.
He's mostly a gi guy. He's been mostly a gi guy for a long time.
Yeah.
I remember watching him take on Tim Spriggs at Fight to Win in Baltimore years ago for the main event.
At Pans, he went against Roberto Jimenez.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
in the gi.
I don't really honestly have even more of a breakdown for this match than I thought Gutenberg won. I thought he did more, and I thought Devontae sort of did what we were concerned he would do here, and kind of concerned Gutenberg would do, just not do very much and keep a really slow pace. And whoever gets the better of the 4 or 5 sequences that are going to happen in the 9-minute match, win. And that's exactly what it was. And I think it's bad matchmaking because both guys don't push the action. Both guys don't push the pace. It's like Devontae Johnson versus Elder Cruz in the same way. It's like both guys don't really push the action, tend to not push the pace.
Yeah.
And you need to have them in there against an athlete that's going to push the action and push the pace. And when you don't, you get matches like this, and that's the match we got. I got nothing else. Okay, so he was 2022 trials champion. He got injured. That's what it was. So Gutenberg he won ADCC trials in Brazil in 2022, then got injured and pulled out. Because I knew he had an ADCC poster.
He was supposed to do
24,
but he was injured.
again. Okay.
Well, in 2022 he didn't compete due to injury, and then 2024 he was invited, and I guess either got injured again or
because usually if you win trials and can't do it, ADCC will, like what they did with Ethan Carlson, like you win trials and then they go, hey, you're injured or something happens, you can't make it. They will usually make good on that, like, hey, you get the shot like once for guys that it earned it and won it. So yeah, I know I've seen him in Nogi, but it's not common.
Yeah, and he is with AOJ now, so he's not going to make stupid decisions in his career.
So that was that match. Next match we had Sarah Gavao defeating Trinity Pun with an armbar. Really
old school jiu-jitsu.
Dominant, like pressure, passing on top, head and arm.
I'm going to I'm going to make you bear all my weight. And
the whole time.
Take my time.
Both about 140. I think Sarah was, they were within, I think, 2 or 4 pounds of each other. Trinity, I think, was 140. I think Gavao was 142 or 144, or I could have had that reversed. Trinity was much taller.
Yeah, I think Trinity's smaller than Sarah.
Okay. They were within a couple of pounds of each other. Yeah, they
weren't. It wasn't a crazy difference.
Yeah. This was a really, like, Gavao took Trinity down, passed, got on top, mount. My concern for this match, again, Gavao looked phenomenal. My concern for this match was it was clear that she was trying to put Trinity Pun away for 6 or 7 minutes of this match.
Yeah.
And unable to. And Trinity Pun had good defense, very solid defense for the arm triangle, for the arm bar. And Sarah Gavao just couldn't put her away. And eventually, she sort of has to, like, jump on armbar off the top. I thought she was going to go Kimura.
Yeah.
And she jumps on armbar off the top fast enough that Trinity Pun can't make the escape. It wasn't a particularly, like, wildly tight or extended armbar. It was just fast enough where she beat Pun to the escape out. I am concerned that she wasn't able to put Trinity Pun away more quickly, given how dominant her positional game was.
Yeah,
that was my takeaway from. That was unfortunately my takeaway from the match. It was,
but
like,
it might have also been a tactical decision of, like, why you're going to rush it when you don't have to.
Yeah, and it didn't look like she was rushing it, but it looked like she had Trinity Pun in 2 different arm triangles.
And the one arm triangle, I was like, holy shit! Like, Trinity Pun should never been able to get out of that thing.
Yeah,
because like it was.
That was my concern.
I was like, either Trinity Pun is, like, crazy, like, she
gangster.
Yeah,
we know she kind of
knows. We know she is.
So that's why, like,
she scared the shit out of me. Like, I don't want to go against her. So
did you face her before?
No,
you were in a bracket.
But if I would have won my first trials match, I would have had Trinity.
I remember this.
Round.
I remember this.
And then
back when you were like 122.
She flying armbarred the shit out of the girl after me, and I was like, I didn't do it. No, this was the most recent trials. It wasn't when I was 122 because I went against everybody in that bracket.
I remember that.
One day I'll get back there. One day.
That was my big takeaway. It's like, hey, we know Trinity Pun's game. We know her defense is good. But I was just really, my takeaway here was Sarah Gavao is one of the top prospects we have in women's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
If you can be that dominant for that long in a top position, clearly looking to put someone away, and you can't, and you're, like, really struggling, and, like, you're having to go back through the sub, back to the sub train, back to the arm, back, and can't get it, and then you kind of got to jump an armbar at the end to get it. I'm really concerned if she is put into a woman where maybe she's not going to have the overwhelming physical advantage.
Yeah.
If her only avenue to win will be on points. And it seems like that the sub game needs to be developed much more because, the positional game is amazing.
Yeah.
It's dominant. It's world champion. We've seen it versus Kravar. We've seen it versus, like, everyone that she goes against.
Yeah.
The positional game looks really good. The sub game continues to be not world class.
But she hasn't had world class competitors.
Yes.
She's been able to get probably subs that have been easier because they've been lower.
You've been at blue,
people.
purple, brown. You're just recently coming into black belt and and immediately getting thrown into the deep end as world champion level black belt. Yeah, but that was my takeaway, is that it was sort of what we expected. I expected a really dominant positional work from Sarah Gavao, and we saw that. I expected her to, once she got there, to be able to get the back or sub. Yeah. And it took a while.
Yeah.
So those are my other takeaways for the match. Do you have any other takeaways?
Nope.
Moving on, we have Gavin Corbray versus Owen Jones. Gavin takes this one via decision. A lot of leg locks.
Small men jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. The entire match was leg locks and counter leg locks with Gavin more of the time on top, having good shots and good entries. This is another one where I think, again, I don't have a problem with the decision. I think Gavin does win this.
Yeah.
I think he has more significant shots and entries to the legs. But really, if you give this to Owen, I'm not upset at it either because it was very close. I think towards the end of the match, Gavin started to figure out more of where Owen wanted to go into the legs, but neither guy ever had anything that was super deep, super tight, dangerous, extended, twisted. Like it was a positional double-seated open guard leg battle, or it was Gavin entering from the top or Owen entering from the bottom, and then them sitting down in the legs, inverting, rolling through. No really strong back attempts, no really strong passing attempts, no really didn't even look like either guy was looking to take it there. Yeah, it didn't look like Owen was really even looking to get on top and play the game.
It almost looked like they had the same exact game, just two different ways to get there.
Yeah, it was a mirror match that Gavin wanted to play from the top and Owen wanted to play from the bottom.
Which I wonder if either gentleman actually drilled things, because neither of them believe in drilling.
They're both ecological. Yeah, I have no idea.
If either of them did that, if it would have changed.
You have a specific game plan that you work specifically? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was fun to watch, but really, for me, it was really hard to tell who was winning. The theme of this episode is like, who is winning?
Wins?
I don't know. And so for a match like this, it was almost like frustrating to watch because I was like, I don't know who's winning this match at any point in time.
I think the other thing is if you educated your commentary staff on judging criteria and you had your commentators.
Have them tell us. But I think the problem is...
Well, if you have them at least understand the criteria to be able to explain it and not just explain jiu-jitsu to us that already... If we're watching it, I expect us to already know basic jiu-jitsu. So rather than give us basic jiu-jitsu knowledge, give us maybe a little more criteria, like maybe like this is why, blah, 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 as opposed to like this is how you do an armbar. I don't need you to explain to me how the person is going to do the armbar. I need you to explain to me why that armbar is specifically good for this match and going to give them
the context of the greater landscape of why.
I would rather have that for commentary. Yeah. It's harder because you would have to actually understand everything.
Yeah, it's hard. We're still, I think a lot of jiu-jitsu commentary, we're still in the dark ages of it, and
it's not as bad as the UFC commentary where it was like they were explaining what an armbar was. It wasn't that level, but it was still
Sean Kennedy and Sean. They generally. I think we have moved a little bit past that as the general landscape. Like it is no longer just white and blue belts. Generally speaking, watching these events, we have the community overall has a much higher degree of understanding. Yeah, and I think you can start giving more educated commentary. That is not necessarily as explained. I still do that when I do commentary a lot of times. I'm explaining what I'm seeing and what they're going for as opposed to... But I think we've done a lot more of that, of like why that person is going to go, like give more context. These matches are somewhat hard to follow without the context of what guys need to do to win. So it's like, that's what I'm talking about. You give it to Gavin, cool. You give it to Owen, also cool. The criteria is not super well defined, at least on the broadcast. And so you're left with both guys raising their hand. You're like, oh, Gavin wins. Okay, I guess that's who wins. That's all I got. Yeah. So I think that's... do we have? Did I miss something else?
Nope.
That's everything on who's number one. Give me criteria for matches. We also have some undercard matches as well. Have not got a chance to get to those yet myself. That's all I got.
No.
I was confused. Let's move on to the preview show, or the preview section of the show. Match I'm super amped about. And Polaris has more defined criteria, which I like, and generally speaking, gives you what we're looking for. I think commentary overall, somebody can get confused as well. They got confused last time. Yeah. But generally speaking, gives a little bit more criteria information during a match of like why something is happening, which I really appreciate. We have the rematch of Margot Cicerelli versus Theon Davies. This is a rematch. They've faced each other twice before, only in the gi. This is for the bantamweight title that Fionn has. I am going back and forth with who to pick. Just straight up moving into picks. Easy money here is on Fionn. Fionn is, IBJJF world title. She had the title from Polaris in 2019. She's had it ever since.
Yep.
She's had it forever. She is the ADCC gold medalist from 2022. She goes over and fights Mackenzie Dern at CJI 2022. Mm-hmm. Fights Mackenzie Dern at 2024 for CJI. Fionn is one of the best in the world. She has a recent win over Adele Fornerino. Again, a rematch from ADCC. Mm-hmm. A very close match, but she does win the match just with more activity. Margot Cicerelli looked amazing on the European squads event that Polaris ran. She's looked really good at trials. She's looked really, really good consistently. And she, generally speaking, has a higher level of activity than what we've seen from Fionn and Adele recently in their division, in their matches in the last 6 months. We haven't seen Fionn in a lot of matches. I think the good money is on Fionn here to retain. Yeah. She's been the champion for a very long time and has been world elite for a very long time.
But she's also been opening a gym. She's had a couple injuries that pulled her out of other matches, which makes you wonder if Cicerelli is getting better with time, if she is now caught up.
Also just won trials in Nogi as well, ADCC. Looked pretty good doing it.
Yeah.
This is a tough one for me to call. I think this will be a stylistic match. I think this will be Cicerelli and Fionn on the feet a little bit. We'll see a little bit of wrestling, and then we'll see Cicerelli go
pull. Yeah.
I do think for some reason, I think we'll see a little bit of wrestling, and then we'll see a pull. Do you think we'll see a pull immediately from Cicerelli?
I would think she would pull immediately.
Okay. But I don't know why I think that.
I don't.
What division did she win at trials?
Yeah,
she might pull immediately. You're right.
Most of what I've seen from her has been pulling. I'm trying to think how she won finals in trials without pulling.
Right.
But she might have
subbed.
Yeah.
Subbed or done. Or got taken down and then wrestled from there. This is going to be, can Fionn pass Cicerelli, get on top, and pressure her, get to the back?
Yeah, and can she pass Cicerelli? And Cicerelli has now seen Fionn have problems passing some people's guards recently.
And Cicerelli's at AOJ.
Yeah. So they're definitely watching,
planning and game planning and gunning for. They're watching Fionn because she's the best in the world for the women. So that's what you're going to watch against. That's what you're going to game plan against. That's what your whole gym is going to start game planning against for all your top female athletes to go against Fionn at one point. You're prepping them all for it. It doesn't surprise me here to have Cicerelli take this.
No.
Because, sorry, you said.
Yeah.
But also watching Fionn take another title is like, it's what she's done for a long time now. And we could have another moment where it's maybe not Jasmine Hosha-esque, but the same, man, she just looks unbeatable.
Yeah.
That's why this is kind of a weird one.
I think it depends on if Fionn has someone in her camp who's really being serious and really telling her, like, hey, you need to do something new because what you're doing in the past isn't working.
Yeah, but the thing is,
it is. But when she went against a smaller Adele, she couldn't pass her guard. She couldn't do anything. Yeah. She never got anything off on Adele. She won the match for being on top and passing, but she didn't get any submission attempts off at all. And that was a smaller competitor that she should have blew through. Yeah. So now you're going against another person who has the same basic jiu-jitsu pattern.
Very similar constructed
and
game.
So and you have AOJ who's actually going to watch that match and be like, okay, she held her back doing XYZ. Mm-hmm. How can we take advantage of that? If Fionn has someone who's in her corner that's actually watching
doing the same thing for Margot's game.
Doing the same thing, then that's great. But if she has a bunch of yes men that are like, you're so amazing, you're wonderful, how amazing are you? Let's do blah blah, and aren't trying to make her grow. then it's a problem.
Yeah. Man, I think you might have talked me into the upset pick.
Yeah.
Here.
I'll do the upset pick because why not? Fuck it. I like the dark horses. I just think it comes down to like, is somebody telling Fionn like, hey, we need to do something?
Is Fionn going to change her? Or I think that's the right way to put it.
Yeah.
If we see the same game plan that we saw versus Adele, I think Cicerelli takes this.
Yeah.
Because
I think Cicerelli's bolo game is a different level than Adele. Because Adele normally goes up for arm locks.
And for the legs.
And for the legs and kind of like in front.
And will be happy to play close guard. Yeah,
where Cicerelli will roll under you every direction known to man and come out behind you. Yeah.
Ooh, I think that's the tale of two cities.
Yeah.
I think if Fionn comes in the same way that she came with the low pace at the range, I think Cicerelli will be able to make something happen and win this match. I think it will be close, but I do think, especially the other X factors of Fionn opening a gym and like being maybe not as forefront competitively as she was a couple of years ago, I think that's seeing her lose the title wouldn't surprise me, and seeing Cicerelli be the new champion here just because she's going to have a more active guard. And if activity becomes your criteria, potentially fence Fionn out if Fionn plays the same game and just win, kind of how Fionn beat Adele, just on activity from the bottom. So, man, that was not the pick I came into this segment
that
thinking.
Was actually not the way I thought about it, but then I was thinking like,
watch us both be massively wrong and she just blows through the guard.
I find that the problem with people who are really, really good sometimes is they don't have the coaching that's telling them what they're doing wrong. You know? They're not like trying to fix things. They're just trying to like go forward with what they have.
You take what you have and you kind of sharpen versus adding new skill sets and adding new tools to diversify.
When she was with
JT Torres.
Yeah. But I don't know who she's with now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She's left New York. She's now
back in
Wales.
Yeah, and I don't know who's doing her coaching.
I do not know either. So, it'll be interesting for sure. Let's move on. Even anything else on this match? Fionn versus Cicerelli. No. Let's move on. We have Helena Krovar. Versus Suleme Lowenthal. We just saw Suleme versus Adele. Adele Fornerino footlocked her on Grapple Fest 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, somewhere around there. Pretty quickly. I kind of would expect Krovar to look at that match and go, well, that's what I want to do.
And if we remember the first time that Suleme kind of blew through her, it was because she like caught her, like she blew through her. It was more of like
the rematch.
Yeah, she kind of went balls to the wall immediately, and kind of
overwhelmed.
Yeah, overwhelmed her. I was trying to think of the word and I couldn't think of it.
You trained at 5 a.m. this morning, so it's understandable.
I know, I did, and so 6 a.m. actually, but
still,
yeah, it was way too early. But yeah, I don't think that'll happen again. She doesn't seem to be the type that allows those kind of things to happen again.
Right.
But,
so we're picking Krovar?
Yeah.
By footlock?
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I had more analysis to make, but really that is like that's what Krovar wants to do anyway. She wants to go to the legs. That's how she won CJI, looking for the leg locks, looking for the attempts, and Suleme has that recent loss to Adele via that, and Krovar and Adele had that match at CJI that went that way.
Yeah.
I think the writing's on the wall for that. And so, again, I take Krovar by probably straight ankle.
Yeah.
On the same way, but boots out and down and across and gets it quick. I think Suleme is going to probably try to play defensively, but Krovar is very tall, going to pull, going to get her in, entangle the legs, push her over, and then take the foot.
Yeah, and I don't think somehow there won't be that timing delay. It was a timing delay on Helena's pull. And Suleme just kind of like jumped her. Yeah. Like on the pull. Yeah, I don't think that timing delay.
She's not going to make the same mistake twice, and that's won't look at the first match. So, Miranda, do you have the rest of the squads up? Because I have
The names are right there.
Hey, look at that. There, I do have it up indeed.
Yes.
So we have a European squad versus Asian and Oceanic Trials squad. This is from 12 days ago. Do you have the more recent picture?
But the more recent picture, I think, is the same people.
Okay.
And I don't know all the people in the
Because I
picture.
thought Kento was originally on the Asian and Oceanic Trials squad, and now he's not in this picture and he's not in this lineup, and so I got.
But I think he's on another squad. He might be on the Asian squad.
This is Asian Oceania.
Oh.
That's why I got confused.
Oh.
So, Team Europe, we have Owen Jones, Mateusz Jasinski, Joseph Chen, Owen O'Flanagan, Santeri Lilius, and Taylor Perlman. Owen Jones, this is basically the Trials champion squad. Because Owen Jones, Trials champion, ADCC bronze medalist.
Yes.
Mateusz Jasinski, footlock champion, Trials winner.
But we haven't seen him in a bit because he had...
Surgery.
Yeah.
Shoulder or
I thought it was shoulder, but
think that
he had his one like leg all wrapped up for a long time too. So who knows?
Joseph Chen, Trials champion. Owen O'Flanagan, Trials champion. Santeri Lilius, 2-time Trials champion. Taylor Perlman, Trials champion. Also, the most controversial tap of CJI versus Bodoni. Team Asia and Oceania. We have Lucas Kennard, Victor Hugo, heel hook fame. Same picture?
Yeah, I think it's the same people.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have Igor Tanabe of Fat Ninja fame. I'm trying to think of what Igor Tanabe is famous for. When he's as adult size and not when he was just a chubby kid.
Yeah.
Of Quintet fame. Mohamed Athanarav, we've seen on Polaris a bunch. We have Oliver Taza, multiple-time Trials winner. We have Hajit Rashid, and we have Tommy Yip. All guys that we've seen on Trials, on Trials and on Polaris before. On paper, Team Europe is stacked.
But you could get a Lucas Kennard or a Oliver Taza that just like blows through people.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Oliver Taza generally does not do that. He's normally
until occasionally he does.
Yeah.
Until occasionally you get the once every other year Taza performance where you're just like,
oh well,
where is this guy the rest of the time?
Yeah, Taza did win, and Taza won against
Emerald City Invitational. Like you get that.
He
Taza.
won against Mateus, but that was the poll.
Mm-hmm. That was the controversial.
That was the controversy poll.
Was that? Wait, was that?
That was
Mateus, or that was that
That was Mateus. Mateus pulled guard in finals.
Yeah, in the last
and
minute,
lost, and I was
had
like,
the -1. And you got so mad for like a year.
I know.
about this.
I did.
This is a tough one for Team Asia and Oceania. Winnable because again, it's all about how you bracket your matchups. We're not really going to go into specific matchups here
but then you have, like,
we don't know how the squad is going to go.
Santeri Lilius, who like weirdly does really good half the time.
Almost in Trials, amazingly.
Yeah,
and then,
Trials amazing.
And then in Polaris, sometimes he can run and do like a really tough stylistic matchup.
Now, Ian O'Flanagan could just rip everybody's foot off.
He could too. So could Jasinski.
Yeah.
So could Owen Jones.
Jasinski could. He could also shoulder lock. He could also like.
So let me run down Team Europe for you. Owen Jones, known for flash armbars and heel hooks.
Yeah.
Mateusz Jasinski, known for that crazy ankle lock where he blows people's legs out. Joseph Chen.
And shotgun armbar.
And the shotgun armbar. Yeah, that too. Yeah. Owen Jones, also known for the shotgun armbar.
Yeah.
Joseph Chen, known for really good heel hooks and like more, honestly, nowadays like a little bit more wrestling and passing.
Yeah.
Owen O'Flanagan, heel hooks at 88 kilos.
Yeah.
Santeri, impeccable defense.
Yeah.
And just a monster to have to put away. Taylor Perlman, he is the guy that beat everyone in his Trials by heel hook in the same way for the entire division and won the finals.
Yeah.
That's Taylor Perlman.
Then he may have heel hooked
Giancarlo
Bertoni. We don't really know what happens.
We watched it over and over again. So that is Team Europe. Lucas Kennard again, heel hook Victor Hugo. Igor Tanabe, both on the receiving end and the giving end of many leg lock. Oliver Taza, known for the inverted knee bar and the heel hooks.
Yeah.
This is Polaris Squad's the leg lock edition, essentially.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of down for it because I'm real curious to see how it plays out.
It's going to be interesting to see if they all rip each other's shit off,
I'm
too.
excited for it. I'm always excited for it. So that's Polaris 34. I don't have much else on that. We have a couple other events coming up. We're going to preview ADCC trials here in a couple of weeks. We have BJJ Stars coming up later this month.
We have a BJJ Stars event that they're doing, like, because you know how they do themes.
Yeah.
They're doing
I haven't seen the theme for this one yet.
It's Peaky Blinders.
Really?
Like it's like a Peaky Blinders theme, which I don't really know.
Oh, it's legitimately Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. I don't know what that means.
Owen Jones is on that one too.
Yeah. I don't know if it's
versus Miriam McQueen.
Yeah.
That'll be
I don't
awesome.
know
I'm
if
excited
it's
for that.
like Brits versus Big Dan versus Utah Bueno.
Okay.
Taza versus Fabricio Andre. Like
That's a dope card.
I don't know why it's called Peaky Blinders.
They have themes, man, and they lean into it, and we only get the English broadcast that doesn't know the theme, and the Portuguese broadcast is always having a really good time.
I think we're gonna watch it in Portuguese because
I always do now.
because it's more fun.
I always watch it in Portuguese, and you now speak enough Portuguese, you can translate.
I
for
know
us.
a little bit. I translated what's it called? Gabby Garcia had like a post about her mom, and I like translated the whole thing. I was like, look, I know what that says.
I can Portuguese now.
I know enough Portuguese. Not really good Portuguese, but I know enough.
You're getting there. So I got nothing else, Brandy. Anything else?
No.
All right. So we just the outro. We're done.
Yeah, I think we're done.
As always in the show, I'm your host, Maine, the co-host.
Miranda.
And we are the Grappling Around. Same that what it is. Stay safe. If you like the show, please consider sharing it on Facebook with the folks at your gym. It's the best way that we grow the show, and we really appreciate it. You can reach out to us on email.
We also have Instagram. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have Google+.
Until that shuts down.
We have a website.
If you have an event you would like to have us cover, please let us know. If you have a name, like most people do, and you'd like to have us stop butchering it,
Let us know.
reach out to us. The show is also available on YouTube, Spotify, in addition to iTunes and every other podcast service. We very much appreciate your time, and thank you.